Let's see if little Johnny has learned the steps.
Great music, colorful visuals, and a heartfelt story. You might think that those are the only things in common between Zootopia and Sing 2, also known as the most successful animated films in recent times. Bold and unafraid to tackle difficult subjects while still giving the audience all the humor they need to keep them glued to the screen, these flicks are a perfect watch for the whole family. However, that doesn't help the fact that people are now starting to wonder whether one of them is a blatant ripoff of the other. Stay tuned till the end to find out about all the times Sing 2 copied Zootopia.
And I ain't talking, Rabbit, and ain't nothing you can do to make me.
Zootopia was released in 2016 and quickly went on to become one of the best successful Disney films, crossing $1 billion at the box office, beating classics like The Lion King to become the second biggest original movie of all time. And if you've been living under a rock, let's start off with what the movie is all about. Set in a world where animals are anthropomorphic and have big dreams, we meet Judy Hopps, played by Jennifer Godwin, who wants to become the most successful officer the city of Zootopia has seen. After landing her dream job at the Central Precinct, Judy starts to see through the system's cracks and realizes that she isn't being treated with any respect by her colleagues. To make her mark as a police officer, Judy takes on a mysterious case and partners up with her arch nemesis, a conniving fox called Nick Wilde, played by Jason Bateman, to give us a buddy cop story like no other. Featuring plenty of wholesome moments, pop culture references, and hilarious one-liners, Zootopia takes familiar tropes and plays around with them to give the audience a brand new story that they can watch again and again. Why? Well, because it's just that good. Sing 2 is the second installment in its franchise that follows yet another anthropomorphic animal called Buster Moon, a koala played by Matthew McConaughey. The first film introduces us to Buster's world as he fights to save his theater after delivering failed productions in a row. In a last attempt to make things better, Buster puts on a singing competition that has the entire town buzzing, especially because of the $100,000 prize that's at stake. The only problem is that Buster doesn't really have the money because, surprise, surprise, he's broke. The second film follows Buster's continued shenanigans as he tries to impress Crystal Entertainment mogul Jimmy Crystal and convince retired music legend Clay Calloway to come and perform at his show. The only problem is that this time he's already told Crystal that Calloway is on board, while the rock star isn't really on board with any of it. Now, the glaring similarity in both of the films is the fact that they're both set in fictional worlds where animals behave just like human beings. They can talk, have jobs, dreams, aspirations, and of course, entire families. But of course, it's not really fair to say that Sing 2 ripped off Zootopia because the film is a bunch of talking animals. By the way, that Sing 2 portrays is anthropomorphic characters is like a little too familiar. In Zootopia, Judy is a protagonist with a can-do attitude. No matter what problem comes her way, she is ready to find a way around it. And while she does get in over her head sometimes, she ultimately manages to get what she wants. Similarly, Buster Moon in Sing 2 is a character that just isn't willing to give up, no matter how dire the circumstances. His determination will definitely remind you of Judy Hopps in the multiple instances of the film. Dream big and don't let anyone tell you that you can't be what you want to be. Remember in Zootopia, anyone can be anything? That's the catchphrase we hear Judy saying time and time again in this film. This phrase captures Judy's essence and resilience as she tries to work through every problem life and her workplace throws at her. In response to that, Buster's catchphrase in both Sing 1 and Sing 2 is "Dream big dreams," which is eerily similar to Judy's.
We're gonna jump out that window.
What? Sure, the context in which the two characters say it are completely different, but come on, how can this not be a blatant copy? Both films show things falling apart multiple times before coming together to the point where its chaos is too hilarious to handle. In 2016, Zootopia managed to tackle some pretty heavy subjects using the animation medium, and that was definitely something that has never been done before until Sing 2 came in and did the exact same thing. Both the films tackle issues like privilege and discrimination with fleshed out worlds and characters. For instance, in Sing 2, we have Portia, played by Halsey, the daughter of the owner of the Crystal Theater, Jimmy Crystal. Using her privilege, Portia gets herself the lead role in the show while she clearly doesn't have the voice for it, and Rosetta does, highlighting a major flaw in the fictional world of Sing 2, and that's not very different from our reality. Similarly, Zootopia deals with discrimination through the angle of gender, where Judy is assigned extreme unimportant work at the police academy just because she's a woman. Zootopia is a film that was full of interesting side characters with their backstories, which made it all the more interesting to watch. With the setting being in a fictional town where all kinds of animals lived in peace and harmony in Zootopia, we had characters like Bonnie Hunt and Dawn Lake as Bonnie and Stu Hobbs, Judy's lovable parents. We then have characters like Giselle, the Predator's rights activist and pop star played by Shakira, the charismatic Mayor Lionheart, and well, the list just keeps going on. Sing 2 also puts its side characters at the heart of the film in a way that's pretty similar to Zootopia. The sequel features McConaughey, Reese Witherspoon, Seth MacFarlane, and almost all of the original film's most iconic characters reprising their roles, with the addition of Tori Kelly, Halsey, and Chelsea, who are part of a massive and brand-talented ensemble cast. Witherspoon plays Rosita, a mom of 25 piglets who is now ready to get back on stage and leave the world stunned by her performance. Then we have Tori Kelly's Minna, a timid elephant who isn't afraid to belt out the most difficult tunes with her incredible voice. All of these characters make the film the great ensemble picture that it is. Zootopia first played around with the idea of having a central character whose story ties in with numerous other characters that live in the same town. And well, let's just say that Sing 2 also decided to go down the same route in a very similar way. Aside from a touching story and great music to go along with it, the reason why Zootopia did so well with all kinds of audiences was the fact that the film wasn't afraid to sprinkle in quite a lot of pop culture references. From bootleg DVDs to Judy's iconic iPod and of course an unmissable reference to the TV show Breaking Bad, Zootopia might be set in a fictional world, but all of these familiar jokes just make the movie all the more interesting to watch. Almost like a guessing game when you're waiting for the next reference to pop up. Now, this kind of pop-up culture referencing was unlike any other animated movie had ever done before. So when people noticed the same thing in Sing 2, it was safe to say that things seemed a little fishy. The movie also uses references that only adults might understand, including an Alice in Wonderland-inspired sequence that the film cleverly titles A Lice in Wonderland. And as funny as the jokes are, they're just too similar to the 2016 film. Considering all the times that Sing 2 has ripped off Zootopia, people are now wondering whether the Universal franchise will attempt to move ahead with its sequels the same way. For those of you who don't know, the Zootopia franchise has no plans for a sequel for a long time. On the other hand, the Sing franchise has clearly gone down that route with the possibility of more films coming in the future. Now, Zootopia has decided to be a little unconventional with their sequel, and instead of making another film, this animal universe is going to be expanded in the form of a show titled Zootopia Plus, which will feature Judy, Nick, and all their friends as they embark on crazy adventures. Now, because an official film sequel for Sing hasn't been announced yet, the franchise might go ahead and switch gears to the show as well. But because Zootopia Plus is going to be an anthology with every episode focusing on a different character, it's going to be interesting to see whether the Sing franchise is gonna do the exact same thing once again. Hope you guys liked this video about Sing 2 and Zootopia. Please subscribe to our channel to watch more videos and let us know what you're looking forward to the most in the comments below. We'll see you next time.
From the top in 5, 6, 7, 8, and